Hello, this is Gerald Salenti, and it's Thursday, January 19th, 2023. And here are some of today's trends in the news. And again, remember, don't forget it. The trend is your friend. So hit that subscribe button below there. And we want to get more people watching us because we're spreading the word of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness that's been robbed from us. So make sure you click on that subscribe button. And I've said it before, we're independent. No ads in the magazine, about 150 pages each week. Information you can't find anywhere, any place, all put together with trend forecasts. Yeah, trend forecasts that no one could possibly do. Don't do it at Harvard, Princeton, Yale, Oxford, Cambridge, because they don't know how to. Oh, we'll teach you history. We'll show you about what happened. We can't tell you what's going to happen. So again, please consider sharing this video so we can get the word out. And again, we thank all of those of you who subscribe to the Trends Journal, and go to trendsjournal.com to read history before it happens by subscribing. So today on the equity front, now the stocks took another hit. And this is how they say it in CNBC. Stocks fell Thursday as investors grew increasingly concerned the Federal Reserve will keep raising rates despite signs of slow inflation. Yes, inflation's slowing in a lot of areas, but it's still high. And investors, how about gamblers? Because that's all it is. Because the 1% own about 54% of all the equity markets. That's right, the 1%. The 1% that got $27, $30 trillion around there richer in the last 2 years. And when you put the top 10% together, they own about almost 90% of the equity markets. So, but this is big news. The rest of the plantation workers of Slavelandia don't own any of it. But this is big news. So the Dow lost over 250 points. The S&P fell 0.76%, and the NASDAQ fell almost 1%. So this is the first week in the last three that they're on it. The averages are on a decline. And stocks extended their slide after initial filings for unemployment insurance fell to their lowest level since late June last week, the Labor Department reported, signaling to investors, gamblers, that the labor market is resilient amid a slowing economy, which is total bullshit. Yeah, because when you look at who's taking these jobs and what's going on, people taking 2 and 3 jobs because working at Walmart, working at Target, working at Home Depot, working at the chains, they got you changed. This is better than the plantation system. Much better. Because in the old plantation, you had to house them and feed them. Now you just give them enough money. Yeah, go get out of here. Go on, get out. Go on. Come back tomorrow. Here's enough. Here. Yeah. So that's what they're looking at. So the markets went down because they're also expecting that the Fed heads are talking about raising rates more than what the street is gambling on. Federal Reserve Governor Lael Brainard, or Braindead, said today that interest rates need to remain high even though there are signs inflation is starting to ease. Even with the recent moderation, inflation remains high and policy will need to be sufficiently restrictive for some time to make sure inflation returns to 2% on a sustained basis, she said. How about that for real?
Bullshit. Bullshit.
Total.
Absolute bullshit.
Yep. These are the people that was saying that inflation was transitory and temporary when it was skyrocketing. They're not going to get near 2% inflation unless they destroy the earth, which they'll love to do, and really destroy the economy. They knew it was going up. They just kept doing it to keep pumping cheap money in. So, on February 1st, the Feds are going to come out and they're going to raise interest rates. According to CME Group data, the markets are assigning a near 100% probability that the Fed heads will raise its benchmark rate only 0.25%. So there's no fucking way you're going to get down to 2% inflation rate if you only raise it 25 basis points. Because the gamblers then could keep getting their cheap money, the monetary methadone, to keep these money junkies high. And that's why gold prices keep going higher, because they're betting that what Brainhead said over here is nothing more than
bullshit.
That's right, because gold prices rose nearly 1% today. They're at $19.34 an ounce. We had forecast in the Trends Journal perfectly accurately that gold had hit its bottom, was floating in a $1,600 an ounce, and we said it's going to go up from here in a range. It's going to go up. And now, if they only raise it 25 basis points, we're forecasting gold's going to break way past $2,000 an ounce. And if they raise it 50 basis points, you're going to see the economy crash. And what is that going to mean for gold? It's all in your Trends Journal. Yep. The dollar's hovering close to an 8-month low. So the lower the dollar gets, the more people could buy gold, because a lot of commodities are dollar-based. So if the dollar goes down, their currencies go up, and they're buying gold. And again, last year, record central banks buying gold because they know where it's going. So this is the headline, one of the stories in the Financial Times today. Crude price drop at G7 cap rattles Kremlin. It's pure fucking propaganda talk. Brent crude's at $86.36 an ounce. It hasn't crashed. And then everybody's waiting, what's going to happen with China now that they've opened up and ended their zero COVID policy? I don't see it bouncing back big, because the whole world is slowed down. Everywhere I go, it's dead. The numbers are showing it. The numbers are showing it. It's a decline. The restaurants I go to, I go out at night on the streets, they're empty. The restaurants that were packed, yeah, they got people in it by 8:30, 9 o'clock, they're emptying out. So, how's this for more
Bullshit.
And this is why you subscribe to the Trends Journal, because we don't give you
Bullshit.
UK inflation slows for second month. The UK's annual rate of inflation fell for the second month in December. This is the Wall Street Journal. Let's see here. This is another article from somewhere else. Food and drink prices in the United Kingdom hit another 45-year high in December, jumping by 16.8%, according to the Office of National Statistics. What's this fucking shit, United Kingdom? What's this fucking king crap? Fuck off with this king and queen of nobility. We don't piss and we don't shit. Kingdom. Fucking murderers. The sun never set on the British Empire. Oh, the study that came out, they only killed about 165 million people in India. Kingdom. Fuck off. Kingdom. So the people are suffering. The ONS data showed that the price of milk jumped by almost 50%. Bread was up by a fifth. Staples such as sugar and pasta grew by more than a quarter. It's the highest level in 40 years, but they give you the bullshit that it's slowing down. Retail sales post biggest drop of 2022. U.S. retail spending fell in December at the sharpest pace of 2022, marking a dismal end to the holiday shopping season. All right, you see how bad this is? You're going to raise interest rates 60 basis points. This fucking thing's going down. And some of the data. Purchases at stores, restaurants, and online declined a seasonally adjusted 1.1% in December. I'm telling you, the numbers are much worse than this. Much worse. National Retail Federation said that holiday sales were disappointing. The trade group said November and December sales rose 5.3% from the year earlier. They were estimating that holiday sales were going to rise by 8%. And department stores, they saw their sales drop 6.6%. Again, dining out at bars and restaurants down like 1%. So this is terrible. You go back to your Trends Journal around May of 2020 when the scumbags, the arrogant fucks, politicians locked down everything, making up their fucking crap. We said there's going to be a commercial office bust like you've never seen before. We wrote about this for almost 2 years. 2 years. And now it's news. Front page story of the Wall Street Journal. Commercial landlords grapple with big surge in hedge costs. About 1/3 of the commercial property debt is floating rate, according to the Mortgage Bankers Association. The work at home trend is real. Things are going down. People renting office spaces want to save money. Yeah, work at home 2 or 3 days a week. I don't need all these floors anymore. And again, we detail this in the Trends Journal. The shitheads, the crap heads that want to throw out the baloney that things are okay are saying they're going to convert these into apartment buildings. No, they're not. According to the data, office spaces built, the big office buildings built in the last 50 years are non-convertible. Again, one of your top trends for 2023, office building bust. And now they're just talking about it. Well, we've been talking about it since May of 2020. And that's why you subscribe to the Trends Journal. There's no journalism anymore. And again, they don't know how to forecast trends. We're the only ones. My book's trend tracking, far better than Megatrends. Trends 2000, international bestseller. Anyway, Morgan Stanley profits plunge. I want to mention this because, quote, drop in MA merger and acquisition activity hurts the bottom line. The results caps a tough year for Wall Street deal makers. Listen to the language. Deal makers. Hey, we're deal makers. You got it? You're a nobody. We're just going to get bigger and let the bigs own everything. And we're really pissed off that they raised interest rates because we got all this cheap money to buy up everybody. So we get the plantation workers of Slavelandia working for the bigs. Again, much more details in your magazine. Here we go. KKR. How about KKK? To buy S&P engineering unit for almost $1 billion. More merger and acquisition activity. Ace Boutique Hotels sold to holding company. A holding company. Hold this, you fucks. None of this existed when I was a young man. There were no holding companies. There were no hedge funds. There were no private equity groups. There were mom and pop stores. We're not allowed to say mom and pop anymore. They've taken over the world. You ready for this? Headline story in the Wall Street Journal. Leaders fret about the fragmenting global economy. Leaders? Who the fuck are you talking to? Who the fuck are you talking to? Oh, we're talking to Greg Ip. He follows the leaders. You don't fucking lead me. Hey, but the people that swallow the political shit, I guess they look up to their leaders. Davos, Switzerland. Geopolitical rivalry, technology, decoupling, and protectionism increasingly have altered the world's business and political landscape, adding to new risks and threats for some opportunity. Quote, we are very concerned about geoeconomic fragmentation, said Jita Gopinath, however you pronounce the name, the number 2 official at the International Mafia Federation, Monetary Fund, in an interview. Globalization. Isn't that nice? Globalization, the big zone, everything. I'm all for self-sustaining economies, one of our top trends for 2022. And that's what's going on with Russia. They have the technology, the human and natural resources, where they don't need much of the other world. Oh my God, McDonald's left, Starbucks left. All these stupid fucking companies that left. The other people are taking over what they left. Globalization sucks. Because all it is, it enriches the bigs. I'm all for a self-sustaining economy. If I was elected, unlike the bullshit coming out of Trump's mouth that he was going to put all this shit on China and he did crap. Oh, it's very simple. Put back the trades and tariff regulations we had in the 1960s, and let's call it a day. Bring manufacturing back to the country instead of shipping it overseas. Anyway, number of EU bankers earning above $1 million soars to records. Yep, isn't that nice? This is Financial Times. The number of bankers and investment professionals in the EU earned more than $1 million, hit a record in 2021. Isn't that great? The Banksters. Yep, the Banksters. What do we got over here? Oh, yeah. Here's one of the great Anthony Frieda covers. This goes back to 2012 when the magazine was a quarterly. Yep. There he is. Jesus Christ. And they got Citi, Wells Fargo, JP Morgan, Chase, Goldman Sachs, chasing the banksters out of the temple. And then, whoop, Christ is on the cross 3 days later. Wall Street Journal, central bank digital currencies are coming, ready or not. Old news for Trends Journal subscribers. Go back to 2020. From dirty cash to digital trash. There you got it. And that's what they're going to do. They're going to know every penny we spent, where we spent it, what we spent it on. They're going to create a new currency so they could get rid of all the debt level they have. They're going to make up some shit. And so the politicians never work a day in their life, keep stealing money from us and giving it to their buddies and all the bureaucrats that they keep wanting to bring in so they can keep voting for them. Putin ally, this is the propaganda lines. This is from Reuters. Putin ally Medvedev warns NATO of nuclear war if Russia defeated in Ukraine. From former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev, an ally of Kremlin chief. Propaganda, an ally of Kremlin chief. You don't say an ally of President Biden. You don't say an ally of President Macron. No. Kremlin chief Vladimir Putin warned North Atlantic Organization today that the defeat of Russia in Ukraine could trigger a nuclear war. Wait a minute. He said that warns NATO of nuclear war. Quote, the defeat of a nuclear power in a conventional war may trigger a nuclear war, he said. Nuclear powers have never lost major conflicts on which their fate depends, he said. And Putin said yesterday that Russia's powerful military-industrial complex was ramping up production and was one of the main reasons why the country would prevail in Ukraine. Washington has not detailed what it would do if Putin ordered what would be the first use of nuclear weapons in war. This is the Reuters. Since the United States unleashed its first atomic bomb attacks on Japanese cities, Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Oh, you mean the Americans slaughtered hundreds of thousands of innocent Japanese civilians when they knew there was going to be a treaty that was going to be signed? Oh, that was fine. Russia has 5,977 nuclear warheads. The United States, 5,428. So, and they also say that China has 350, France 290, the United Kingdom 225. They left out Israel. They don't have to report this. I forgot. And what else we have here? Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte said today, if an aggressor is not challenged and can go about his business, it won't end with Ukraine. The whole West is threatened, he told CNBC. People feel that this is about values, that we cannot accept one country invading another country. Hey, fuckface. Hey, arrogant scumbag. How about America invading Iraq, you little prick? Hey, dickhead. How about NATO destroying fucking Libya, scumbag? Hey, little cocksucker. How about NATO destroying Yugoslavia? How about Afghanistan? You little prick. CNBC, fucking prostitutes selling horse shit that the people swallow. How terrible are Russians? Oh, the Vietnam War was great. I forgot about that one. We have to do everything we can to help Ukraine, Rutte said. Hey, fuckface, put on your military drag. We have to do something. Go over there and lead the charge, you little prick, and I'll call you that to your face. One scumbag after another. UK to go further in support for Ukraine. The United Kingdom is set to provide Ukraine with more than 200 armored vehicles, in addition to a batch of Challenger 2 main battle tanks. This is why the United Kingdom has decided to go further and go faster with the help to Ukraine, including the supplying to our friends of Challenger 2. Blah, 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 blah. The little scumbag speaking at a joint conference with the Canadian shithead, Foreign Secretary James cleverly stupid in the UK. What fucking crap? Oh, I just read about how the people in the UK are suffering with inflation. Fuck you. Fuck you. We're stealing your money and we're giving it to war. We're the UK. F-U-C-K. Yeah. Yep. Russian officials have, on numerous occasions, denounced Western arms shipments to Ukraine. On Monday, Kremlin press secretary Dmitry Peskov slammed the delivery of heavy weapons to Ukraine, claiming that Western-made tanks, quote, will burn like the rest of the weapons. He also insisted that these shipments would not forget not affect the progress of military operation in Ukraine. And this is the most important thing, is what we've said since the beginning. When the United States, NATO, and its allies joined the war, this is not a proxy war. Peskov stated that NATO's weapons shipments to Ukraine make the U.S.-led bloc, quote, a de facto indirect party to the conflict. Yep. The U.S. is at war with Russia, and they're warning us now. More and more, they keep talking about a nuclear explosion. Kremlin intensifies criticism of the West. Just as Hitler wanted a final solution to the Jewish question, now if you read Western politicians, they clearly say Russia must suffer a strategic defeat, Mr. Lavrov said. This is Russia's foreign, this is their foreign minister, Sergei Lavrov. And when you read what Lloyd Austin, the U.S. Secretary of Defense, said, we're going to do this to weaken Russia. And Biden, we're going to punish Putin. Mr. Putin said representatives of many European countries participated in the committing crimes of World War III, blockade of Leningrad today, St. Petersburg. According to Russian Defense Ministry, they were celebrating it. 1.4 million people died there during the 90-day Nazi siege. Lavrov reiterated on Wednesday that Russia would continue its military campaign until all its goals are met. He said, while Moscow is prepared to consider any serious proposals from the West, it hadn't so far seen any. U.S. may help Ukraine strike Crimea. This is according to the New York Times. Isn't that nice? Several anonymous U.S. officials, official pieces of shit, told the New York Times that they are growing more comfortable with the idea of upgrading Ukraine advanced weapons to attack the Russian-occupied Crimean Peninsula. By the way, they had in 2014, or I think it was 2014, I think it was 2014, they had a vote in Crimea after the United States overthrew the democratically elected government of Viktor Yanukovych that we detailed in the Trends Journal, spring edition, when it was a quarterly. About 97% of the people said, no, we're not going with Ukraine. We're going to stay with Russia, Crimea. So, and it's been part of Russia on and off for centuries. But that's what they're doing. And one of your top trends for 2023, AI, we own you. 90% of online content could be created by AI by 2025, is what they're saying. So people are going to become dumber. They're going to rely more on artificial intelligence, like artificial flavors. Yep. Artificial colors, artificial shit. Again, they got it wrong in the King James Bible. They said the meek shall inherit the earth. The geeks have inherited the earth. But we're doing everything we can to stop it. Please watch my interview yesterday with Judge Andrew Napolitano. Nobody says what he says when it comes to the Constitution, the Bill of Rights. We're doing everything we can to give you the best we can. So please, again, hit that subscribe button. Tell everybody about the Trends Journal. And also subscribe to the Trends Journal by going to trendsjournal.com. Trendsjournal.com, the only magazine where you're going to read history before it happens. Thank you. From COVID war to Ukraine war to world war. Are you prepared for what's next? These are unprecedented times. What's next? What's going to happen? Read the Trends Journal. We have an unsurpassed track record of forecasting history before it happens. Subscribe to the Trends Journal. Read history before it happens. From the world leader in trend forecasting.